The start of today's video is going to be us being the support vehicle for Lachlan's MR2. So he messaged me the other day saying that he's hearing a weird sound coming from the MR2. So we're going to go over to his place and see how the Benki MR2 is doing. Apparently he thinks it's rod knocking. We'll see what happens. You know, just in my reliable black Camry. Oh, no power steering. Oh, one hand. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Big reveal, big reveal. So now Lachlan's car is 5 different colors. You got yellow, pink, silver, black. Pretty sure there's another color somewhere. Okay, 4 colors. Oh my god, what a nightmare. So the reason why he's put this front bumper on is because the other one that he had was sort of just dangling there and it was broken, and he believes, and I also believe, that the OEM front bar looks way better than anything else. OEM front bar combined with a nice Aeroware lip will make the car look really nice. So just gotta wait for paint after that and then should be good. I think I hear the man. It's the man, the myth, the legend. Give it a rip, dude. Are you sure? Is it still gonna make the same sound, you reckon?
It'll make it.
All right.
Hear that sound?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I shouldn't be laughing.
Done.
Long time coming though, so, you know, not really surprised. Oh, dude, it's getting louder. Why does it look like it's on a tilt? I think something's wrong.
You reckon that back engine back came out?
I don't know, but dude, look at it. Come here, stand where I am. Alright, so we're not gonna bother bringing this thing over because the engine is on a slight tilt and we think that the engine mount's not in there properly, so we're not gonna even drive it. Maybe the bolt wasn't done up tight enough.
Oh well. Let's hope. Oh, let's get the new valve stems. $100 valve stems.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we're back in the garage and I think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room, the unfortunate event that happened with the Chaser the other day. Not my proudest moment, but it's something that we need to discuss because the actions on the Chaser that are coming in the next couple of videos are due to what happened. It was unavoidable. I made a mistake. Let's talk about it. And unfortunately, I didn't film because it just wouldn't make sense for me to do that. Because if I did, it would have sort of made everything weird. You'll sort of get to understand that when I explain it. So firstly, I want to say I didn't really want to bring this up with you guys, but because we have to do a couple of things to the Chaser to comply with what happened that day, changes are going to happen to the Chaser over the next couple of videos, and you're not going to understand unless I explain the story, so I thought I'd explain the story. You see, I had a mate of mine come around, and he isn't really into cars. He's not really like a car guy. He sort of has been in, I don't think he's ever been in a fast car before, so what I decided to do was take him for a ride in the Chaser. So the Chaser's a pretty quick car. The Chaser goes pretty hard, and you see, me being me, I thought I'd give it a couple of sends down one of the highways near us, and yeah. So there's a bit of a straight up ahead and I see no cars at all whatsoever. So what I do is I'm in 3rd gear, I downshift into 2nd and I just foot to the floor, send it. And that's where I made the biggest mistake of my life. It's not a funny thing. I'm just trying to laugh about it rather than be upset about it to the point where I'm just unmotivated. I don't know. So we were on our way to a destination. I wasn't just sending it on a random freeway. We were going to get lunch. So the place that I wanted to go to, the driveway is so steep that the Chaser has no chance of making up it. So what I do is I quickly turn down the left street just after the place so we can park there. When I get to the end of the street, I see this BMW just race up to the arse of my car and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this guy trying to do? And then I see red and blue lights turn on and I'm like, oh shit, what have I done? You see, when we did those couple of sends, I didn't even know what speed that I was doing. I didn't even look at the speedo, I just sent it and I made a complete mistake there. I shouldn't have done what I did and I take full responsibility for everything that I did. Definitely not my proudest moment, but we all make mistakes. Anyway, you see the cop comes up to my window and starts talking to me and the first thing he says is, what were you doing? Do you know what speed you were going? And the first thing you're supposed to do in that situation is think, they could be bluffing. They might not have radared you. They might have just seen your speed. But you gotta remember, guys, this car is slammed to the ground. It is low as hell. Tires have rubbing marks on them. It's not a smart thing to be a dick to the cop. So what I did was completely admit that I was wrong and I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I just had a friend in the car that's never been in a quick car before. I've only just got the car. I made a mistake and I'm completely sorry for what I did. See, I could have been a complete arsehole in this situation and just been like, you know, I wasn't speeding or, you know, I don't know how quick I was going. If I did that, I think I would have got in the bad books. You see, this car is heavily defectable. It's too low. It's just not roadworthy in some sort of senses. I mean, it shouldn't really make sense that I have to raise it too high because it doesn't really affect anyone else than me, but that's just the law in Australia or the law in Melbourne. You can't have your car, the minimum height clearance is 10 millimeters off the ground and the Chaser does not. does not clear that. See, the ride height is defectable. The tire is missing chunks out of them is defectable. This pod filter in here is defectable. This intercooler as well. So there's a possible chance they might not have radarred me and I didn't have to admit fault, but I know that no matter what, they would have defected me for something. So, because they're not just gonna pull me over and, you know, be like, oh, you weren't speeding if I said that I wasn't. Anyway, moving on. The first thing he says to me is, do you know how fast I got you going at? And I was like, I have no idea. And he was like, I got you going 27 over. And I was just like, great, I've lost my license. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm screwed. YouTube's over for me. I'm done. He then started walking around the car and looking at things, pointing out things. Then he was even like, look man, I don't think you're even gonna pass the roller test. And he gets the roller out. And for those who don't know what that is, it's pretty much a roller that goes under your car to check your height clearance, and it goes all the way underneath your car. He already knew that the roller wasn't gonna go under there, but legally he had to get the roller out. And the first thing he does is he tries to stick it under the side skirt and just smacks the side skirt straight away. So I was like, Anyway, he starts walking around the car, looking at all the tires and everything. And then he says, hey mate, can you turn your wheel? And I'm like, So I turn my steering wheel a little bit. He's sort of looking at everything and he can see sort of chunks missing out of the tire where the fender is sort of caught on it. Honestly, it's not the most dangerous thing. I've seen tires in much worse condition, but obviously if you're a cop and you see that, you're gonna be like, yep, that's just bad. So he says, hey mate, can you hop out the car, have a look at this? And just told me that, you know, it's not really roadworthy to have a tire like this, and said that there is a possible chance that I might have to get the car towed home. And I was like, He then tells me to open the bonnet of the car, so I do that. He starts looking at everything and is like, hang on, this isn't standard. Points to my red valve covers. I say that's just paint. He points to the clear timing belt cover and says, hey, that doesn't look right. And I'm like, that's just like a clear cover. It's just for looks, but doesn't really do anything. And then he wiggles my pod filter and doesn't say anything about that. And I was like, sweet. You see, at this point, I was being very cooperative. I know that I did something wrong, so there wasn't really any way of getting out of it. Like I said, even if I didn't admit fault, there was no way I was getting out of this with nothing. He was going to defect my car no matter what. Anyway, so while I'm here talking to the cop about my car, my friend is over in another corner talking to the other officer that's near him. And because my friend was sort of, you know, kind of sad with what's going on, he sort of tried to help me out. And he asked the other cop, where did you radar him at? And then the other officer, not the one that was talking to me, says that we got him in a 70 zone. I didn't hear about this until later. But what happened after that is they both went in the car and sat down for 15 minutes. And me and my friend sort of started talking. And yeah, I was so sad. I was so disappointed, but then again, I made a mistake, I was in the wrong, I did something wrong, and I have to take full responsibility for it. I honestly started telling my mate that he's probably gonna have to drive us home because I won't have a license after today. I started freaking out. I was getting real sad. I was just like, you know, I don't know why I did what I did. I shouldn't have done what I did. And then I sort of started blaming my mate because at the start I was like, hey man, where do you want to go get lunch? And he was like, oh, I want to go to this place. And I was like, how about we go to this place? We'll go here and get lunch. It was up to him if he said yes or no. And he said yes. So I was like, man, it's your fault. It's your fault for saying yes to me. And we're just sort of joking around, you know, being sad, and it's just a sad reality. Like, I definitely don't agree with the law when it comes to defects. Like, it doesn't really make sense that you can't have certain things on your car, like pod filter you can't really technically have, because what that does is it could be a risk somehow. I have no idea. So there's just a bunch of different rules that sort of don't make sense, but you know, they are the law, so you got to comply with them. Yeah, so I was sort of being more accepting at that point, sort of sitting there trying to think about what I'd just done. So 15 minutes goes by and I am, you know, very upset, don't really have much to say. And then the officer comes up to me and he's like, hey mate, look, you've done something wrong. Shouldn't have started your morning off like that. And I was like, yep, I completely cooked it. It's totally my fault. And then he says to me, look, I think your friend is probably right. It was a 70 zone. So today we're going to get you for going 13 over. You're going to lose 3 demerit points and pay $350. And at that point I was like, oh, thank God, you know. I am so happy with that result. Could have been much worse. I made a complete mistake. He even said that he got me while I was on brakes, so he knew that I was going much faster than that, but he only scanned me for that speed, so I was like, thank God. And then came the part that I was most scared about, the car being defected. So like I said, the Chaser is heavily defectable. It's no secret. It's slow. It's this close to the ground. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in America don't have these issues, but here, for some reason, we do. And apparently it's worse in other states. Melbourne's like pretty lenient compared to like Perth. So the first thing I do after thanking him so much for getting me going 14 over instead of 27 over, because 25 over in Australia is instant loss of license, or 25 over in Victoria. So if you're in a 100 kilometer zone and you go 125 kilometers an hour, you're donezo. You've lost your license and your car car gets impounded. I was super happy with the outcome that he only got me for 14 over. So you remember back before how he said I might need to get the car towed home? Yes, that was the part that I was most worried about because he could have really dicked me there. He was a highway patrol officer and highway patrol officers are legally allowed to do that sort of stuff and tell you that you have to get your car towed home. But he said to me, he said, today you are not going to get a sticker on your car. You're going to have to go to Vic Roads and make sure the car is 10 millimeters off the ground all round. You will have to get new front tires. Other than that, that's all you're going to have to do. You won't have to get a new roadworthy certificate. He said, I'm letting you off easy, mate. Could have got you for much more, but you've been very cooperative today. Me and my mate sort of just looked at each other and just went, ah. So the outcome was I received a minor defect, nothing too crazy. It just means that I have to go to Vic Roads and get the car checked out. It means that I have to get the car back off the ground, 5 millimeters off the ground to 10 mil all round. So I'm gonna have to raise the car again. I will have to go through the painstaking process of raising the car all over again. These HKS coilovers are absolutely horrible for doing that. So super annoying, but you know, it is what it is. And I will have to get 2 front new tires. I'll see if I can get a shot of what he was talking about when he came over to this tire over here. You can sort of see there, because I'm so low, what's happening is the fender is taking out chunks of the tire here, just very minor chunks, but I mean, it's pretty bad. Honestly, not the worst outcome in the world. It could have been much worse than that. I could have got a sticker in my car and had to get the car completely roadworthy checked, but that's not gonna happen anymore. It's a little bit annoying though. It's gonna set me back on some of the plans because we have a few things that we wanna do with the Chaser. Quick sneak peek. But other than that, I'm not going to show you anything else. So I made the post both on Twitter and Instagram, and I got a lot of messages asking if everything was all good. And I really appreciate everyone being so curious and wanting to help out. That really means the world to me. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking there about that situation. I need to update you guys on what's happening with Lachlan's engine. So we're going to start working on this in a bit. We've got everything all set up over here, ready for the rebuild. I believe Lachlan has just picked up some new valve stem seals as well for the 1MZ. So I'll probably get started on that very soon. We've never done this before, so I don't even know what the hell we're doing here, to be honest. But we have the keepers out, valve springs, the valve seat thingos, we got the buckets, got an Australian bird quacking in the background. Man, it's so unfortunate that we have to go through all this stuff again, man. Raising the car, getting tires, but again, if you're in that situation and you know that your car is gonna get defected pretty badly, then don't be a dick to a cop. You know, they are doing their jobs. I'm sure that they go through a lot of shit people every single day. And at the end of the day, they are humans. They are just, you know, doing their job, trying to cooperate with you. So cooperate back with them. Don't try to be a smart ass. Don't try to, like, you know, think that you're on top of the law or anything like that. It's just how it's gonna be. It's just something that you gotta deal with. But you see, when you treat cops with respect, they treat you with respect. They sort of understand where you come from. After the cop talked with me, shook his hand, my mate shook his hand, and we went both of our ways. Anyway, I'm gonna get stuck into working on Lachlan's engine today. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out. See ya.